wait for a minute for people to join and then we'll start. We're at the 3 minute mark. So we'll just start. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. My name is Vishal, and I'm a principal architect for R&D at Quantify. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to day 2 of Conference 2024, where we're predominantly focusing on our healthcare and life sciences research. If you've already joined us yesterday or any of our previous sessions from today, I hope you've enjoyed the event so far. Thank you for your participation because this is going to be the final session for the event. And in our final session, we're going to talk a little bit about clinical document management. So clinical trial processes typically run across multiple phases, resulting in about hundreds and thousands of documents being generated as part of the process. And this makes managing these clinical documents absolutely critical, which generally includes collection, processing, storage, archival, destruction of clinical trial records, etc. And traditionally, these documents vary a lot with respect to format and templates and are processed manually, leading to increased costs and time durations. So in our session on clinical document management, we'll see how some of the recent advancements in multimodal AI and intelligent document processing capabilities like the ones we covered yesterday, etc., help us accelerate this process overall. So to talk more about this, I have with me for our final session our senior machine learning engineer, Narendrakumar Kumawat. So let me hand it over to him. And before I do so, please note that if there are any questions during the session, please feel free to ask them via the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, and we'd be happy to take them at the end. Over to you, Narendra. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. Hello, everyone. I am Narendrakumar, part of the research and development team at Quantify, working as a senior machine learning engineer. I am excited to be here today to talk about how generative AI can transform the way we manage clinical documents. I will start with an overview of the processes of clinical document management, followed by the bottlenecks and challenges faced by companies in handling these documents. I will also showcase our approach to clinical document management using generative AI and the experiments conducted in line to our approach, and end it with a brief demo of the tool. Let's start with understanding the process involved. The clinical document management process includes collection, processing, and storage of clinical trial records. These documents are generated in the process of conducting clinical trials or clinical research studies. These records are stored as TMF or trial master files. Clinical research organizations and clinical trial teams assist in conducting these studies and creating the necessary documentation, which is often in paper format. The documents are then processed by TMF specialists and pass through processes like quality checks, document classification, and metadata extraction. Once processed and approved by a team of specialists, the relevant study records for these documents are updated, and the documents are also stored in EDMS systems, which are basically electronic document management systems. Let's start by understanding the core business. Now, these pharma companies are heavily involved in research and development. Think about the sheer volume of documents generated in clinical research, from patient records to compliance reports. Healthcare institutions deals with millions of documents each year. This creates a great challenge: how to efficiently manage, process faster, and ensure the documents are compliant with regulatory guidelines. The clinical studies are conducted in various phases, and with each phase, the volume of documents generated keep on increasing, and it can go up to 60 to 64,000 documents per study. Now, most of the current process is manual for processing these documents. Once it is provided by CROs, a group of TMF specialists work on these documents manually and perform QC checks, document compliance checks, metadata extraction, and all. Now, how we can optimize it with the use of generative AI? Let's start by understanding some of the challenges in the current processes. All these challenges also bring opportunities for us to optimize and simplify the processes. One of the challenge is standardization, which will help us migrating the data from one EDM platform to another. Another is managing regulatory requirements and making sure the documents are complete and compliant. Another challenge is addressing the variation in study templates used by different CROs. And finally, we have large volume of documents which is manually processed. So reducing the human effort and time needed to process these large volume of documents is a major challenge. Now let's understand how the document processing in clinical trials has evolved with time. Now, the processing of the documents has evolved from fully manual to incorporating techniques like OCR, optical character recognitions, and all. However, most of the current process are relatively still manual. Traditional OCR based methods have lower latency and less compute requirements, but need fine tuning for each new templates. They are faster to adjust, but they struggle with multi-page documents. In contrast, generative AI based approaches handle multiple tasks like classification, key information extraction, without needing much fine tuning. While they work well across different document categories, they can produce hallucinations or irrelevant outputs. So, to summarize, OCR is efficient for specific templates, while generative AI based approach is more versatile but needs careful prompting. Now let's look at the generative AI based approach which we are proposing. We have developed a workflow that will leverage generative AI for efficient document processing and management. Here is how it will work. Now, clinical trial documents are uploaded to a secure cloud vault by the CROs and clinical trial teams. Generative AI will be used to perform compliance checks, classification, and metadata extraction on top of these documents. Once the documents are processed, these will be seamlessly integrated with EDMS systems. Now, the GenAI based approach and pipeline can handle diverse document layouts and templates and can work 24/7 for all the downstream tasks. Now, To give you an overview and a better idea around the major tasks involved, we have currently focused on three crucial tasks in our experimentation. Document classification is basically categorizing the document based on its content and the underlying structure. Key information extraction is basically extracting key data points from documents such as study details or investigator details. Then we have compliance checks. Compliance check is basically ensuring that the documents adhere to regulatory guidelines and have all the necessary informations available in them. Next, let's have a look at the processed solution diagram, which is leveraging generative AI. Now let's consider that CRO has completed a study, so they will start pushing all their documents to a secure vault. And the pipeline at the backend will connect to the vault and will fetch all the documents. The frequency of updates to this secure vault is based on the study timelines. Let's assume for now that the documents are updated on the daily basis. Talking about a user journey, imagine yourself in the role of a TMF specialist. In the traditional manual process, what you will do is you would be receiving documents on a daily basis from the CROs, and in the manual evaluation pipeline, you will go through each and every detail of QC, KIE, and then finally approve the document. Now, imagine this is being augmented with generative AI, where you keep receiving documents on a daily basis and you are processing it using generative AI. On the dashboard, you will get the documents with various tags like new, query, do not upload, to be reviewed and completed. New is something which is new into the system. It has recently uploaded and it has come into the system. Query is something when the document is already processed through the pipeline but has some issues in, let's say, quality check or metadata extraction. Do not upload is related with duplicate documents. Let's say we identified, or the tool identified, that there are 3 duplicate documents. Now TMF specialist can pick just one of them and put all the others in a do not upload category section. To be reviewed is a document which is completed through the pipeline but is yet to be reviewed before marking it as completed. And finally, we have a completed document, which is basically has passed all the processes and steps successfully. All these mentioned steps here will get more clear when we get to the tool demo. Now, the first step involves making sure that the document is complete, is compliant, and can be processed further. And that is basically the QC check. Now, once the documents are passed through this QC check, the next process is metadata extraction. Note that we also have manual review layers before and after the metadata extraction. And one more thing to note is that these 2 manual review layers available, and this will be reviewed by 2 different TMF specialists just to make sure that the system is more robust and the documents which are reviewed are passed through more eyes. And finally, we will update the database, which is basically EDMS systems in our case. Now, what we see here is a generative AI component. Now, all the business rules and models are available in the prompt repository in a predefined format. Here, the documents are passed to the multimodal LLM, and the LLM uses the relevant business rules and guidelines based on the document category to perform the relevant tasks on top of them. Next, let's have a look at the benchmarks and evaluations which we have conducted on a set of real-world documents. The dataset we have used encompasses a total of 40 clinical documents across 9 different categories. And we have done the benchmarking using both open and closed source models. The categories under consideration for the document classification here are like Form FDA 1572 and Financial Disclosure Form, etc. As we can see, for the document classification, all the models have performed really well across single and multi-page documents. Just one thing to note is, well defining the guidelines and business rules leads to a significant improvement in the classification performance. Next, we have document QC and compliance check. The checks we do in the QC are like if the document is complete with all the required relevant information and fields like signature and all. For compliance checks, we used instructions at a document category level. And what we observed that if we align the instruction as per the document category, that significantly improves the performance. What we see on the results is, although GPT-4v and Gemini 1.5 Pro struggles with handling multiple instructions for QC across both multi-page and single-page documents, so making them less suitable for the QC tasks. On the other hand, GPT-4 Omni and Cloud Sonnet 3.5 stands out, showing strong reliability and performance. Next, we have key information extraction. Here, we basically try to extract the metadata from the documents, like study number or details of the investigator. We initially started with single-page documents and open source models. As we can see, open source models were not able to follow the instructions, thereby showing lower performance. Also, open source models lacked the support for multi-page document processing at the time of our benchmarking. As it can be seen, both GPT-4 Vision and Gemini 1.5 Pro maintains consistent performance across both single and multi-page documents, demonstrating strong capabilities for extracting key informations. Now, let's have a look at the product designs and workflow. So, imagine yourself as a team of specialists. You log into the platform and you have the complete overview of the document processing pipeline. What are the new documents into the system, and what is the usual top countries or geographies from where I'm receiving the document, what are the top 5 studies which are being conducted, and the top document categories as well. Here in this view, we have all the new documents here. We can filter it like from here as well. And let's say I want to process all these documents. So what I can do is I will select all of those and then start processing these. It will run the QC checks on that, and once QC check is complete, out of 100 documents, 92 have passed the QC. Now on this page, I can, let's say I want to view a document, so I can view a document here. And once I view a document, I can even take some action. So let's say for this document, I want to take a query status. So as we discussed, query is like the document is when it's processed through the system, uh, and it has some issue with it. So in manual review also we've identified that issue and we are marking it to query. Once we do that, as we can see, all the issues will be highlighted here, and let's say we have reviewed all the documents. The next process after QC is the metadata extraction. So all the documents which have passed the QC, which in our case was 92, will be processed further for metadata extraction. And in this page, the current review status is review pending. Now let's say I want to view this document. When I view this document, I will have all the metadata extracted here and the document as well to the left. One more thing is I can even make the edits in my extracted metadata right into the platform. Once I'm done with these, so as you see, the review status has changed. It's reviewed now. And likewise, I can review all other documents as well. And then let's say I can move back to my dashboard. And as you see here, all the documents have been processed. The status is not new now. It's completed. So that was about the product designs and workflow. Now, coming to the future scope, so it basically includes what we are planning is we are planning to evaluate the performance of new models on a wider range of tasks and clinical documents. Other thing is automated instruction generation, wherein we will be developing an AI powered tools to auto generate the instructions for newer document templates and categories. Then we have evaluation around document legibility, and we also are planning for expanded document classification benchmarking on a wider range of document categories. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Vishal.
Yeah, thanks so much, Narendra, for that insightful session. Really interesting to see how GenAI is really transforming the way we process documents. We do have a couple of questions from the audience, so let's quickly take a look at them. First one is, what is the role of human manual review in Gen AI based document processing?
Yeah, okay. So human review here is basically helping us in safeguarding the results which are being generated. So this collaboration between human review or human and the AI which we are using will help us make a more robust document processing system.
The next one we have is how much incremental effort there is to onboard new document categories. I'll take that.
Yeah. So as we discussed that there is a prompt repository component in our solution. So that basically takes care of all the business rules related things, right? So whenever a new document category is onboarded, we will add all the business rules related to that document in the prompt repository, and that will take care of it. So and talking about the effort, so it's very easy then going to the OCR based or other approaches which needs extensive fine tuning for the newer categories or templates.
Understood. Yeah. And does it currently support extraction from tables and images and charts and other modalities of formats as well?
Yeah, so currently it is supporting images, but if you have some tables in the images embedded, uh, it is supporting that as well.
All right. That's all the questions that we have for now. Thank you so much, Narendra, for your time. And thank you so much, not just to all the presenters and participants who joined us across the last 2 days, because this now concludes our AI Conference 2024 event. We really appreciate your engagement and Q&A and the the discussions that we've had so far. And I hope you found this event and some sessions useful and helpful. We'll make all the recordings available on our website soon, and you'll probably receive an email soon updating where you can access them and how you can access them, etc. And to the people watching these recordings in future, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help and respond. Thank you all once again. Have a nice weekend. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you.